So I'm here in Manassas with my good friend Tim, who retuned my audio a few years back. My most favorite aftermarket item that I put in my car out of all 28, this right here is my most favorite one, my Moscone DSP. I have Tim right here, and we're gonna walk through, and we're gonna talk about very basic level about the DSPs. So why would one like to have a sound processor in their car?
It just gives you better control over the audio setup in the vehicle. You have a much higher level of equalization with DSPs. You can deal with time alignment, so you can get your staging correct, things of that. So staging is essentially just going to be how you perceive your audio. Can you pick out where the locations of the instruments are supposed to be? That's going to be your staging. If you go to a live bar concert and you're standing in front of them and you got the singer dead center of you, but the guitar player is off to the left or the right, and, you know, the trumpet player is off to the other side. You can pick out where they're standing in the room. It's the same thing, recreating that in an automotive environment.
Right. And so at home, the first thing people would think of is 5.1.
Correct.
Which is basically you have a left channel, right channel, center channel, then you have a right rear, left rear, and then a subwoofer.
Correct.
This is the sound that I want to I guess you can say, create in my car by having mostly the music playing in certain speakers versus all speakers.
Correct. Yeah, I mean, that's what your crossover points are going to do. So your audio is going to be directed through the crossovers. So your mid-bass drivers are playing mid-bass, not tweeter range, and tweeter range are playing tweeter range, not mid-bass range.
Right.
But more importantly, it gives you that 5.1 surround sound system without having the 5.1.
Right.
Because audio isn't recorded in 5.1 like movies are.
Yes.
There is no center channel in an audio track. So we have to take two channels and create a 3D stage, essentially, so you can pick out where the audio is coming from.
Great point.
Well, yeah, this is the Moscone D2, which basically means you have an amplifier and DSP all in one combo.
Okay.
So it is basically a small 6-channel amplifier with a 6 to 8 DSP built into it.
Okay.
So it's essentially two components in one small package.
So when you mean 6 to 8, 6 inputs coming in?
Correct. So you have your 6 inputs coming in,
Okay.
and then you have your 8 outputs. So you'll have 6 out of the 6-channel amplifier, and then 7 and 8 is going to be a pre-out to go to another amplifier. So it's just EQ, essentially. So we have different channels, different levels that we can adjust to kind of flatten out or boost or remove sound from the audio spectrum as we see fit. Generally speaking, we don't have one set up now, but generally speaking, when we would check the EQ or do the EQ or whatever, you would play pink noise through the audio system, and we'd use an RTA to build the EQ curve that we see fit.
Right. This is what basically I have in our Tesla cars, and in most cars. You have your bass, you have your mid, and then you have your treble. Basically, you can, make your bass whatever you want it to be, and then you're in between the bass and the mid, and then in between the mid and the treble, you can make it what you want it to be. But if you notice here in my car is what we call flat or zero. It's not any extra bass, no extra mid, no extra treble. It's all done by the Moscone, and it sounds fascinating. So in a typical car, we have this. We have the left. This is the left tweeter. This speaker came out of my car. This is, I think the audio company is called Sinn. Yes, S-I-N-N. You ever heard of Sinn Audio? Yep. Sinn Audio is made in China, so you can kind of see that a little blurry there. So this was my tweeter, which sat right here. So this is the left side of the car. Tim has the right side of the car with the tweeter, and then down below we have what we call the mid-range speaker, which is in his lap there, and I have mine here. And then we have the famous and infamous center channel, and the center channel is right here. So the center channel typically would be here in this setup, right there in this setup, and then you have this speaker here, and then another speaker over here. I replaced all of that. But the key thing is that I took out the center channel. So I have no center channel in my car. Now, before I removed the center channel, we were just talking about the importance of center channels for some cars. I can speak only for Tesla. And, well, I can't speak on the behalf of Tesla, but at least in my car, in the older Teslas, the center channel mainly was used for navigational direction. It made the door chime if you come up to your garage door, or maybe if you can take phone calls or anything like that. This center channel was the main speaker for that. Also, it did play music, but not as loud as the left or the right. So once I took the center channel out and I got my Moscone 6 to 8 in the back, the center channel now is gone, but it sounds like music is still coming from the center of the car. That's amazing, and that's what we're talking about, imaging and staging, and it takes, I don't know, 6 good hours to get it right. They put a microphone in the seat right where Tim is sitting. They play pink noise, and after tuning and retuning and being bored and making sure all of the things meet to the listener's I guess best taste, when you sit in the car, the left side of the car has more of a surround sound versus the right side of the car.
Time limit is done by measuring the speakers, and we delay it. You know, if we go sat in the center, it wouldn't be a big deal. But because we don't, we sit off to the side. Right. We have to measure and delay speakers so that the passenger speaker and the driver speaker reach your ears at the same time, and that's what helps create that pinpoint accuracy to stage point.
Right.
Plethora of high-end quality and Focal, JL, like you said. You got Audison, Hertz,
Yep.
Brax, Morel, Audiofrogs.
Yep.
You know, and then the list just continues to go on.
Yeah. And it really depends on your ear. Because when I was deciding to get the speakers that I wanted, I came up to Safe and Sound several times and sat in a car that was being installed with speakers. I listened to Focal, I listened to JL Audio, I listened to a number of speakers, but I decided getting Audiophile. So that's what I have in my car. So now you can see, ladies and gentlemen, why it costs so much for me as an audiophile to have like the perfect sound. The DSPs, then you have to pay these guys to install brand new speakers, and you might get some, cool funky designs in your car. I do have rear speakers, but I have my rear speakers turned down low, mainly because I'm not entertaining anybody back there. It's all about the driver. It's all about me. My wife can fall asleep, but I like to hear nice music in a surround sound field. I think I got that all covered. So Tim, I'd like to thank you, my man. I know you're a man of many words.
Yes, sir.
He's always quiet, but he's always smiling, and he knows his stuff. And I really appreciate you taking out some time so we talked about the DSP 101, and hopefully people will follow their lead and see what they can do in their cars in the future. So again, thank you for watching another edition of Don't Waste Your Time. This video may not be for you. If you're an audiophile, this video is definitely for you. So we'll see you down the road. Peace. Peace. There you go. So my DSP is not exposed, by the way, so they made a nice custom cabinet for me, or an enclosure, lack of a better term. And that's what it looks like if I open up my trunk. You just see the Moscone emblem, and then you can see the Tesla T. You can barely see that. And this was signed by Brian Nick. Remember him? He used to work at Safe and Sound.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Brandon.
And also because Brandon, yes, and also because I have aftermarket speakers. This is one of them. Here is my subwoofer, and then I decided to go with Audiophile speakers.